Hey guys, it's about time they actually started updating Blender 4.0 with some of the new features. We know it's already going to be packed with some of the 3.6, but finally it's some new features! Okay, well, if I could create lightning, I wouldn't be doing this. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started, and I'm going to show you some of these new features. Alright guys, some cool stuff going on today. They came out with another iteration of 4.0 Alpha, and it is the branch from June 12th, 2023. And this one's pretty cool. So if you don't know how to get your splash screen, it's right up here on the little Blender button. Just click that, and it'll give access to some of your recent files. You can switch to video editing. You can create a new fresh copy of Blender to start some things over if you wish. Now, for one of those things, I've been kind of like waiting for them to do this because I don't have machine tools and some of these other things installed on every single version. And I flip a lot of versions because I create add-ons and I'm doing a lot of stuff. So you go up to Edit and go to Preferences, and that's not the right one. Let me show you this one. So if you just go ahead and save your very first file, whatever it is, you save it, then you have the option to click Save Incrementally. That's pretty cool. So if I was to go in here and open this, now I'm going to see that I saved the first file, I saved the second file, which is this one, and it's the exact same file. But every time I click the Control-Alt-S, it's going to save an incremental copy of what I did. So it's kind of like a progressive workflow. You can go back to some different iterations of whatever you're working on. All right, so I've deleted the other copies and just kept this one so we can kind of see how the changes go and kind of watch the behavior of this. And so if I was to scale this and make a copy, it'd be pretty easy to see that change right there. Actually, I'll just rotate it a little bit, make it a little crazier looking. And if I just hit Control S, save that, and then recycle this, Control S is going to overwrite the current copy. It will not overwrite previous iterations. It's only going to overwrite what you're on. So if I hit Control Alt S and then recycle this, I now have Untitled Blend and Untitled 1. And so then if I was to grab this and kind of scale it out crazy looking and just hit Control S, then the behavior is going to change. You can see that's blocking the entire screen now. And so if I maybe scale that bad boy down, move it over, and just kind of move this so I can see, I'll make a couple of copies of that and then hit Control Alt S and then recycle. And so now I've got all these different iterations I can go through and go back to. So don't forget, that's how that works. And it would be good to see Save Incremental, right click, Add to Favorites. So you can press Q, then you can do an incremental save. And that's going to be good. That's actually something I'm going to add to my add-on because it does work in Blender 3.6 and 4.0. So I'll be adding that feature. And enough of that. Let's go ahead and bring over a file so you guys can see it. This is one of the updates that is actually pretty cool. I think it's going to save people a lot of trouble. You can now register and unregister Blender and load specifically all your files with one version if you want to consolidate instead of continuously opening with other versions and potentially breaking your blend files. So let's look at that. If you go to Edit and Preferences, you can go right over to System, which is where I was at first, and you'll see that now you can register this version. And you can have it set for all users, or you can unregister that version so it stops opening. And that's going to be a pretty big deal. And we'll just look at the deeper notes here on that real quick. The Windows File Association using the prog ID or program ID needed because of the launcher. This fixes the pin to taskbar, which is important if you're in Windows, and the recent documents list, allowing a per version jump in its list. And if I go back real quick, you'll see that you'll be able to open with different versions if that's how you've got it set up. But that's pretty cool.